Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sjarlie if you're new here, and this is one of those special videos where I will tell you about my brain tumor. It's not a happy story today, but I thought it was important to share with you guys. First, my story. I had a few rare symptoms. If I looked down, I saw everything twice. And for that we've been to an eye hospital, and they've looked in my eyes multiple times, did some tests, and my mother even told them that she's afraid that it was something with my brain, and she wanted an MRI, but they didn't listen and thought it was nothing. Nothing in my brain at least. So that was a symptom I had. I also started to gain weight, and my condition was getting worse, where I used to be one of the best players on my basketball team. I got really bad conditionally wise very fast. Also socially, it's always been a troubly thing, social, but it now got even worse. I started doing strange things. Even once hit a boy, which was a few years higher than I was, with a bottle on his head because I thought he was doing stupid. Like, which first year on secondary school does that? Me, I did. And also school went worse, where I was, or still am, kind of smart. It's maybe a bit selfish to say that, but I was smart. It went worse and worse and worse, and I got amazingly bad grades, and it was really sad and not really motivating. So we went to the doctors, and my mom said, this isn't okay. Oh, also I passed out quite frequently, and I start to pee in my sleep. They later thought that were epileptical insults, little ones, so yeah, but they don't know for sure. But ever since that I haven't done that ever again, so it must have been that. So back to the story. I went to the doctors, and she sent me to a children's doctor at the hospital, and they did some tests. One where they put those stickery sensors on my head, and I had to do a few things, and also an MRI. And the first test turned out it wasn't good, it wasn't normal, and the MRI showed us that I had a brain tumor. And it was like this on 2008, it's all happened in 2008, so that's 9 years ago now, almost, on the day I'm filming this. On 6th of February I had that MRI. I went in the scanner, and they scanned, and throughout my MRI my doctors came to look on the scans, and she would do that anyways, but she kept looking. My mother was sitting with my legs. I couldn't see anything, but my mother was sitting by my legs, and she saw there was something wrong. So when I got out of the MRI, the doctor came to me and told me they had bad news, and she told me right away I had a brain tumor. I was 12 at that time, 12 and a half, so I was really aware of everything what happened, and that kind of sucked because I was aware of what was happening and that it could kill me. And I've cried and screamed and yelled for 10 minutes. I've heard, I don't remember much from that day at all. But I've clearly done that. I've screamed to God. If there is a God, who does that? Which God does that to a 12-year-old kid? And after that 10 minutes I switched and got really adult-like for 12-year-olds, like asking, what is it? Is it good or is it bad? What are they going to do? And sadly they couldn't answer many of those questions because she just made an MRI, and that doesn't tell you if it's good or bad or whatever. But the next day, on the 7th of February, I went to the Children's Hospital in Rotterdam, and they checked me in. I got my room and I got some medicine to lower the pressure in my head, because that was quite high, and yeah, they had to do that. And a week later, on the 14th of February, so on Valentine's Day, they operated me. In the meanwhile, we started a blog to update people about how I was doing. And on 14th of February, I got operated, and they made me ready for the operation at 9 in the morning till I think 10, and 10 they put me down. I don't remember anything from that day at all. So they put me down at 10, and they called my parents at... Sorry, my phone, I have to turn it off. Called my parents at... How late was it? I believe 11 o'clock that they were closing me up. And then my parents went back to the hospital, but they kept me under narcos that night to make sure I could get the first bit of healing done properly. Also, before I got the operation, a doctor came into my room. I've been told not that long ago that that was going to tell me that if I would wake up from the operation, when I would wake up from the operation, there would be a chance I wasn't be able to see, or at least not as good as back then, or wasn't be able to speak. All the complication that could come with that. And when the doctor walks out, I apparently told my parents that I wasn't happy with that man, because I didn't want to know. But I did know, and luckily it all turned out fine, sort of, because now we're going to the 15th of February, where I didn't wake up from the narcos. I was on the ICU, of course, and I didn't wake up because there was too much brain fluid in my head, and so they had to operate me again. So from that operation I got a scar right here. It's getting smaller and smaller. I used to have a little bump in my head. It is almost away now. So it took only 9 years for that. And from the other operation, the big operation, I have a scar on the back of my head, from my neck till somewhere up here. So that's like this long. But pretty much nobody sees it, because usually my hair is over it, and the bit they can see in my neck, they maybe see it, but they don't, they're afraid to ask questions, usually, so they don't, but I don't worry about it, because I don't see it. So I know it happened. I have the things around me that show it did happen. I have the pictures from the hospital and everything, but it doesn't feel like it happened to me, mainly because I can barely remember anything from back then. It's kind of logical, because it's a stressful time. They've been doing stuff in my head, and it's logical that you don't remember much from that, but that makes it a little bit more difficult sometimes for me. But on the 15th of February I was operated again for this scar, and they put a drain in my head so the fluid could come out. Luckily I don't have a drain inside me. You also have people that have drain inside their head. It goes from the head to somewhere in the body to get rid of that fluid, but for me this was just perfectly fine. And during the next 2 weeks I still stayed in the hospital. I got some therapies, started to heal a bit, and after 2 weeks I could go home again. So I only stayed in the hospital for 3 weeks. which is very, very short, actually. And yeah, I would come home. I could sort of walk, but it was hard. And yeah, so after 3 weeks in hospital, I would come home with 97% of the tumor gone. There still is a little bit in my head, because that was, I believe, around a vein or too close to my eye thing. I don't know exactly what it was, but in my eyes. So they couldn't remove it, or it would have gone miserably wrong and I would have been blind right now. But that hasn't have changed the past 9 years, so that must be fine. It also was a good tumor, so it won't be going to other places around my body, and my immune system and my system nowadays is good enough to keep it all together. So yeah, that's that story. And then I got home and got to start getting better and improved myself. And nowadays I do have some leftovers, but not many. My stability isn't the best, but I think if I practice it more, it will get better anyways. I get tired a lot faster, and also if I have a whole lot of people around me, like in groups or parties or anything, that tires me out a lot. Yeah, maybe I have some psychological issues because of that. I don't know. I do have some psychological issues right now. Not issues, but it just doesn't go the way it should be going. I'm taking pills to improve my feeling of happiness, because I've been in a depression lately, and or lately, the past year. So yeah, from that time in the hospital, I've got a few things next to me. I have this little book. It's from the hospital. They gave it to me to the stuff. But it tells about people with a brain tumor, for the operation, how they tell me or tell people. Yeah, I didn't really use it because I thought it was very childish. So I got this one, and I also have this book. This is a book my uncle made for me. My uncle was there a lot for me back in the time. Also after that, when I started revalidating. How's that named? I don't know. He went swimming with me regularly. But this is a book from the blog we kept. It has all the posts we made during that 3 weeks in the hospital, and also all the reactions in here. So this is the front page, and some pictures on the background from back then. Back in the time, turns out I really liked High School Musical, because I have a few posters of that on my window on the front. Yeah, and how many reactions does it have? From the 11th of February 2008 till March 1, 2008, we updated them with 45 posts placed by me, my mother, or my uncle. And there are 220 different people who reacted, with 570 reactions. And in that period of time, it's been watched 33,000 times if there was any news. So yeah, it was quite a big thing, and everybody watched and tried to stay up to date, but I'm very happy I have this so I can read back sometimes. And lastly, one of the biggest things I have in my room still is this basketball. My entire family, or my father, mother, sister, my 3 uncles, my aunts and my grandparents wrote on it a little message. Sadly, some of them have almost been wiped away, like this one you can barely see. What's written there, I don't know whose it was. This is my aunt, my uncle, my uncles, my sister, my grandpa, my grandma, my dad, and I don't know further on. But yeah. Oh, and my nieces probably wrote something on it as well. That's absolutely gone. Oh, this is my... oh, these are for my nieces. Yeah. I can see now. So yeah, that's something I keep in my room. I also have a lot of stuffed toys, and I also still have a lot of cards from back then and a few other things I got. I got Sims 2 from my best friend. This was really amazing. We always used to play The Sims, and now he saved up some money, which back then, when you're 12 or 13, is a lot of money. He saved that up to get The Sims for me, so I could play Sims in the hospital. I played that a lot, and I still have it. I will never ever throw it away, even though it will maybe be $1 million, euros when I'm 80. I don't want to throw it away because it has a very special meaning to me. So this was my story of my brain tumor, and if you would like to know anything else, anything more, have any questions about it, make sure to leave them in a comment below, because I will happily answer them, because I will want to make sure you know what you want to know. And as I said in the beginning, you may not see the things I still have left over from it, but they're still there, and people need to understand that every person has their story and you don't see it. So just be nice and kind, and if you don't understand why some people behave like they do, like with me, ask why are you doing that, not in a negatively way, but just ask. That was one point I want to make in this video. So I hope you enjoyed. If you do, please just if you enjoyed, please give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos of me. It won't be really much related to my tumor. Maybe once in a while I'll do something about it, or it comes by in a Q&A or whatever, if I'll ever do that. But I want this channel to be about my life right now, and how I'm doing it now, and not to be living in the past. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Bye!